the Anti-Goliath challenge. Destroy 5 Goliaths with the MAAWS and Mayhem launchers. Instead of splitting this up into separate videos, I'll be covering both these launchers at the same time. The strategy for completing this challenge is the same for both, which is ideal. Fortunately, both launchers require the same amount of Goliaths to destroy, which of course is 5. Let's talk numbers first. Both the Mayhem and the MAAWS launcher will do 1,000 explosive damage with a direct hit. They'll both do within the range of about 50 to 150 damage with an indirect hit, depending on the distance. Now the Goliaths have 125 health, but a 0.08 body multiplier. So a direct hit on a Goliath with both the MAAWS and the Mayhem is an instant kill. However, a moving Goliath, despite being so slow, is no easy target. In an actual match, when you have enemies guarding the Goliath, people boosting all around, and explosives and gunfire all around you, chances are you may miss a few times. With that said, it can take up to 4 indirect shots without danger close on to take down the Goliath. And by indirect, I mean shooting at its feet and missing his body entirely, but hitting close enough to make the splash damage hit him. With danger close, it'll take about 3 indirect shots. But again, you can avoid all of this just by getting a direct hit, which is a guaranteed one-shot kill. So let's talk a strategy here. First of all, if you've watched some of my other MAAWS and Mayhem launcher videos, you'll know that hardcore mode is our friend with these types of challenges. In hardcore mode, you can also destroy your own teammates' score streaks and have it count towards your own challenges. However, in this case, for some reason, destroying a friendly Goliath does not count. Watch here as I take out this teammate's Goliath. If we fast forward to the end of the match, I check and I still have 0 out of 5 Goliath kills. So if you can help it, you should probably avoid playing hardcore mode, as it will only lead to more frustration in trying to complete this challenge. As typical with these launcher challenges, there's a few obstacles in our way. The first one we just covered, the lack of hardcore mode assistance. The second obstacle is finding an enemy Goliath. You may have noticed that not many people run this score streak, and rightfully so. Not only is it slow, it can be countered way too easily. The Goliath gets absolutely destroyed by any laser weapon, or, as mentioned already, it dies to 1 direct hit by a launcher. It's not uncommon to die within just a few seconds of entering the Goliath, which is probably why hardly anyone runs it. However, those that do run the Goliath often run one specific module on it. And that's our last obstacle, the trophy system. So one of the cheapest modules for the Goliath is actually the best, and it's a launcher user's worst nightmare. The trophy system module is absolutely amazing for the Goliath. I have to believe it was only intended to stop 2 enemy projectiles, but in fact it's unlimited. That's right, if you run the trophy system module on the Goliath, you cannot die from any explosives for as long as you're in the suit. I'd like to show you a clip here that demonstrates just how impressive the trophy system module is. So watch very carefully here. When the trophy activates while you're in the Goliath, a blue laser beam shoots out to destroy the incoming explosive. Let's just count how many explosives I destroy in a few seconds. I counted 8 there. Talk about annoying for the people shooting or throwing those explosives. So here's a clip from someone using a launcher and firing it at a Goliath with the trophy system module. As you'll see, the rocket just kind of blows up. It's very hard to tell since you yourself can't see that blue beam that's destroying the rocket. So most of the time you're left wondering what happened. And again, it's 100% impossible to kill a Goliath with either the MAAWS or the Mayhem when it has the trophy system equipped. Luckily, there's a way to counter all 3 of these obstacles. The solution is to run the Goliath yourself with no modules. Then, upon earning it, call it in and let the enemy take it. This will solve all our problems. You'll actually have a Goliath to shoot in the first place, and you'll know for a fact it doesn't have the trophy system module on it. Now, I'm sure at this point some of you are saying, there's no way I can earn a Goliath score streak. It's just too hard. I'm going to openly say that's some Mickey Mouse bull squash, and I'll prove it. But first, let's just do a quick class setup for this challenge. Note that the Goliath is 775 points to earn with no modules, which is what we want, but it will be reduced to a mere 675 points with the hardline perk. So this is the loadout I used. However, there are only 4 things you definitely need. First, clearly the launcher itself, either the MAAWS or the Mayhem. Second, the perk Fast Hand, so you can swap to the launcher as fast as possible. Third, the Goliath score streak itself with no modules on it. And fourth, as just mentioned, the hardline perk. Everything else is up to your own personal preferences. You'll want to use a weapon that you can do the best with. Danger close is optional. If you're fairly confident in your aim to land a direct hit, danger close is useless since that'll make it a one-shot kill already. Again, for those that say it's still too hard to earn, let me just show you an example of how easy it can be. First of all, I recommend playing Domination. Even if you think you're terrible at this mode, just play it regardless. So watch here as I join this game late and we're getting beaten and triple capped. I start by destroying a sentry gun and then I help capture a flag before the round ends. When the second round starts, I get the initial flag cap and then get one single kill and earn my Goliath. One kill, that's it for a Goliath. Now I know this doesn't happen all the time, but that's just how easy it can be with hardline and domination. If you find yourself struggling in the first round of a domination match, just play extremely cautious towards the end of the round, banking on the fact that you get 200 points at the start of round 2 for free. For example, towards the end of round 1, just get 1 or 2 kills and then hide until the next round. With the 200 points you get for free at the start of round 2, you should be good to go. I should note that the capsule that actually holds the Goliath will last a full 2 minutes once you call it in. Believe it or not, I actually had a bit of trouble having the enemy take the bait. I think most players mistakenly assume that a Goliath can be trapped. Of course, this is not possible. Only care packages can be trapped. The Goliath has an entirely different icon on the minimap. I've called in several Goliaths that have stayed the entire 2-minute duration without any enemies taking it. Talk about frustrating. And after the 2-minute mark, the capsule that holds the Goliath simply vanishes. Another issue you'll encounter is pesky teammates stealing the Goliath. Sometimes, if you see a teammate trying to capture it, if you melee them a few times in the back, they'll get the hint and leave it alone. Sadly though, you'll have the occasional teammate that just wants to steal your shit regardless. You'll just have to deal with these guys and move on. Sometimes, however, they get their just desserts. To help counter both these issues, you'll want to call the Goliath in wherever the enemy is spawning. This will almost certainly result in your death. This will stop your teammates from being able to take it so easily since they'll have to enter the enemy side of the map to get it. At the same time, it encourages the enemies to get it since it's already in their spawn. So just run into wherever the enemy is currently spawning, call it in, and then try to escape. Once the enemy finally captures it, the struggle becomes real. Remember, the Goliath usually is destroyed fairly quickly, so you've got to hightail it as fast as you can to wherever he is on the minimap. The EXO ability Overclock or the Lightweight perk may make good class choices for this reason alone. Now I'm not going to lie, you'll probably die several times in this frantic struggle to get to the Goliath and get a clean, direct hit. Don't be discouraged though. Keep going back as fast as you can before someone else tries to take him out. Now I know some of you enjoy my Dragon Ball Z analogies, so let me do one more here. At one point, Vegeta did his special move, the Final Flash, against Cell. He got a good distance away from him and blasted him with all he had. As a result, it only blew Cell's arm off, and that was it. Now when Goku fought Cell, he started his Kamehameha move in the sky, but then teleported directly in front of Cell and let him have it, blowing him completely apart. And that's the goal here. You don't want to be like Vegeta and fire your MAAWS or Mayhem rocket from too far away, or you may miss entirely or only get an indirect hit. You want to get in barrel stuffing range like Goku did and blast the mother trucker into oblivion. The closer you are, the more likely a direct hit and thus a one-shot kill. I especially encourage this method for the MAAWS launcher as it is incredibly hard to aim the rocket. Lastly, and I can't stress this one enough, try to play with friends for this challenge. I had a group of 4, including myself, and I got this challenge done for both launchers in approximately 1 hour. That's 10 Goliaths destroyed in a single hour. That's how easy this method can be. We all ran the stock Goliath with hardline and called them in all at once. With 2 to 4 Goliaths just sitting on the map, it makes it very hard for the enemy to resist hopping in one. So just lie and wait until the enemy takes the bait, wait for him to completely get in the suit, and then rush him with all you've got and blast him with a direct hit. I managed to get 4 Goliaths destroyed in a single match using this method. And that should about do it. You'll want to run the Goliath with no modules on using your best class loadout with the hardline perk included. Play domination cautiously, trying to cap flags only when 1 or more teammates are also assisting to help ensure you won't die and get the easy points. Once you obtain your Goliath, call it in wherever the enemies are currently spawning. To maximize your efforts, have teammates call in Goliaths too. Then, once the enemy takes the bait, rush towards the Goliath as fast as you can and try to get right in his face to ensure you get that one-shot direct kill. Repeat this 5 times for both launchers and you'll earn yourself the carbon fiber camo, becoming one step closer to that diamond camo.